And now what about the process of now, how would I submit an offer? What would be that process? Like, what's the next step if I decide I want something?
Oh yeah, good question.
I'm ready to say, hey, I want to buy this house for this price, then what do I do after that?
Yes, great question. So now it's time to write the offer up. And basically, we call it the REPC, which stands, it's an acronym, REPC. It stands for Real Estate Purchase Contract. It's the state-approved, Utah's state-approved purchase contract, written by Utah attorneys. All real estate agents are supposed to use that contract. It becomes a contract that we all amongst each other know very well. Our job as real estate agents is to understand that contract because we assist our clients when it's time to make an offer with how to fill this out. Of course, it's always a good idea if you don't understand the contract to seek an attorney's advice. We as real estate agents are not attorneys. We don't practice law, and so it's a good idea. I always tell my clients, if there's something that you don't understand here, that you don't feel comfortable with the explanation I'm giving you, feel free to call an attorney and have them explain to you maybe differently, that makes you feel more comfortable on how you want to approach this particular paragraph of the REPC, the real estate purchase contract. Typically, I can explain it in a pretty simple term. They also have the ability to read it and understand it in their ability to read. So usually they're not contacting an attorney. But I say that if for any reason you don't feel comfortable, maybe English isn't your first language, whatever it might be, it's a good idea. You're dealing with a contract, with a massive purchase. To understand it, it's a good idea to reach out to a real estate attorney. Anybody out there needs one, I have some referrals I can share with you. They also own title companies, which is great because you can do your title closing with that attorney, and it works out really well because now you've got a escrow officer or title company that has the legal background of the individual who owns it, and it's just, for me, a little more reassuring. I like using Jeff Braylio, who's been on this show quite a bit. He's an attorney and an escrow officer who does title work, and so I do most of my transactions as far as an investor with him. I should say not most. I pretty much do all the investing transactions I do with him because he can basically look at what I'm trying to do, make sure that it makes sense, I get a second set of eyes on it, and then of course we can close it. But you're going to go through basically and determine some things on the contract, like what you want to offer, the price you want to offer, earnest money that you want to put up when you submit the offer, the timelines that you think that you can close this property, do your due diligence by, have your financing and appraisal deadline by, and those things. Your due diligence is something that is going to be more on how quick you can get a home inspector in there. If home inspectors are busy, and they are right now, they might be booked out 4 or 5 days, so you want to make sure you have a good amount of time in there for your due diligence. But then as far as like financing and appraisal, when you can close, those are going to be pieces of information that your real estate agent and your lender are going to coordinate and help you understand. Okay, your loan is probably going to take 30, 35, 40 days to fund. Different banks are faster than others. But your due diligence period, I say, is a good amount of time that will pretty much allow you to be able to do anything that you want to do in your due diligence period is probably 14 days. Sellers probably want to see a lesser amount of days. They don't want to see 14 days and then on that 14th day you change your mind and cancel the contract. So they want to know that, hey, you're going to go in here in 7 to 10 days, do your due diligence, and if you don't like it, you'll cancel your contract in 7 to 10 days, and then I can put my house back on the market and start over, versus hanging there for 14 days. As a buyer, you want as long as you can. As a seller, you want the buyer to do it as short as possible. So you're probably going to put something in there, depending on how competitive that house is, 7 to 14 days. So if my clients feel that they really want this house, one way to make your offer more attractive is, not obviously just the price, but shortening your due diligence period can make it attractive as well. I know a lot of my investor friends, when we fix and flip houses, that's one of the things that we like to look at is how many days are they asking for due diligence, because if they back out for any reason, I have to wait all this time to put it back on the market, right? So we look at shorter due diligence, and sometimes shorter due diligence is more attractive than an extra $1,000, right? Your offer might be $1,000 less than the next guy. He offered $1,000 more, but he's asking for 14 days due diligence. You're only asking for 7. I may pick that offer that I'm going to make a little less on just because it happens quicker, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, then basically after you fill that out, you're now submitting it to your to the real estate agent who represents the seller. And right now, the way the market is, because most houses have multiple offers, it's a good idea to submit your best offer. And a lot of agents will tell you, hey, listen, we're gonna, we got multiple offers, and so we are going to not counterback anybody, so submit your highest and best on your first try. And then basically just be prepared that you're going to give it your best shot and cross your fingers that hopefully you get the contract that's picked. And again, as I mentioned, terms, which is stuff like your due diligence period, your financing and appraisal deadline, those can be attractive as well by shortening the time frames on those. So terms can sometimes help you win a deal, even more than price sometimes. Price usually is going to make more people go for one offer versus the other, but what if you got two offers that are at the exact same price, hypothetically, both offers came in at $400,000 and one has 14 days due diligence, the other one has 7, then it's, price is the same, it's a no-brainer on who they're going to pick based off of terms, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then I had a question just regarding that as well.
Yeah.
So a home can have more than one of those contracts at the same time from multiple buyers, is that correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay, and then does it cost any money at this point?
Great question. At this point, no money it has not cost any money at this point. So hypothetically, all you have done now is got a mortgage broker, a loan officer to pre-qualify you, to tell you how much you can purchase, who's going to help you with the loan. So at this point, no money's been paid to them. Real estate agent, no money's been paid to them. Now you're submitting an offer with, let's just say, for example, $1,000 earnest money. You don't necessarily have to give that $1,000 yet because your offer hasn't been accepted yet.
Okay.
Right? And so the house that you're submitting an offer on may have, let's just say, 5 offers on it. This house now, the seller now has to pick an offer from the 5, which one they want to go with. And if you're the lucky one they pick, then yes, at that point you now have to give your earnest money to your real estate agent, who will either submit it to a title company or a brokerage.
Okay, before we part ways, in case you have a dog or know someone else who does have a dog, I wanted to take a quick second to show you the snap leash. The snap leash can literally do so many things, and I'm going to share with you one of the many cool things that it can do. As you can see, the snap leash is designed with 2 swivel hooks, one on each end. This end has a cushion stitched into it to make it comfortable when walking your dog. Now, all you have to do is take this swivel hook, put it into this very first grommet, and now you've got your handle. Okay, so now let's imagine you're at the park and you want to secure your pet quickly, safely, and easily to a park bench, a tree, or a pole because you just want to sit down and relax. Well, all you need to do is take this swivel hook, remove it from the very first grommet, wrap this leash around any size tree or pole or park bench, and put it into the appropriate grommet, and now you have secured your pet quickly, safely, and easily. And when it's time to head home, another great feature about the snap leash is you can simply wrap it around your waist for hands-free walking. Lastly, if you ever accidentally forget your waist bags at home, these grommets make a great place to fasten the waist bags so you never leave home without them. And if you want to see all of the other cool things that the snap leash can do, then please just click on the link below and find out why so many others are falling in love with the snap leash.